From the nice big porch of this century-old house in Sheridan Park, I've got a great view of the trees, the sounds of birds surround me, and when we go inside, I'll show you how nature is brought into the house as well. But while we're out here, let's look at the natural aspects of the house. It's made of this nice earth tone brick, and the mortar is brushed back. The point there is you feel each and every brick. You feel the texture of the house as if the building is rising up out of the earth. See the very same thing on the historical 3-flat from next door. Approximately the same vintage, and the two buildings have been restored by the same people. They're selling both, the 3-flat separately, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But first, take note out here of how the view of the neighborhood is framed by this long, low rectangle. And then inside, another framed view of a landscape. This is a classic arts and crafts touch, a mural painted for this spot. The date is still on it, 1908. So it takes us out into the woods, and it picks up those earth tones we already saw outside in the brick. We see again here, and we also see in the wood that fills the room. We're really surrounded by the wood, by the earth tones in this room. This would have been the original living room in the 1908 layout of the house. Across the hall, it looks as if it was the music room. We think that because there are musical instruments built right into the light fixtures that are there. That hallway in between is wonderful. You start at the front with a beautiful foyer, pretty tile on the floor, glass windows intact. At the far end of the hall is a little phone booth, essentially a phone bench where the master of the house would sit and be handed a phone from the butler in the kitchen. But the greatest part of the hallway is those two historical light fixtures, original to the house, probably unique to the house, green and gold glass, pendulous lights hanging around them. They are terrific, and they're intact. Also intact are these nice pocket doors that still slide and separate the living room from this big dining room. We're surrounded again by wood, but also by flowers stenciled onto these original beams. The stencils are also original. And then there's this beautiful original china cabinet at the end of the dining room where the glass and the wood all work together. We've got the beautiful window over the back of it, and then the glass continues here into the cabinets. Everything works. There are the original mirrors. There's even the original key to the door of the china cabinet from 1908, still intact. These are the kinds of details you find in the 3-flat next door that I mentioned. They restored that one. Two of the apartments are fully restored at this point and have beautiful glass. There are birds in the stained glass. There's gorgeous wood all around. New appliances, new kitchens, all that. But a feeling of 1920s elegance in that building. So the 3-flat's fully restored, but here the main house is not fully restored. I showed you those main living rooms with lots of vintage details intact. The rest of the house needs some work. You've got a kitchen that is smallish and needs updating. You'll probably do both at once, update it and make it larger. On the upper 2 floors, there are a total of 8 bedrooms. They're different sizes because some were for servants, some were for family, but you've got a lot of options reconfiguring that space and bringing it up to date. You also have an option because the house is at short sale level, so you're going to get it at a rather low price. That leaves you some room to do the updating that is needed. I'm not showing you those spaces because they don't have the wonderful charm of those main rooms. And why bother when you can take a look at this great glass that hangs over the stairs, pouring sunlight down into the house.